very warm good afternoon to one and all present in the class. I hope you all can hear me and see the screen very properly. Yes, am I right?
Yes,
Is there any problems of echo?
am I right? Is there any problems of it?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. In the morning session, I haven't found any one of you. And finally, we have to cancel the session because of two reasons. One, nobody was there in the session. Second one, heavy rain over here. Ready for the super amazing session on reproduction in organism part 2. Yes, there will be slight changes in the schedule of the day. Okay, 2 p.m. session is being changed with the 10:30 a.m. session, that is reproduction. We will be discussing now also. Okay, if internet permits, this session is also sure. I'll be coming out with the session digestion and absorption in the evening. Perfect. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave the comments in the public comment section after the session to my question. Yes, right from the beginning onwards, we're discussing on this very first chapter of your class 12th biology, that is reproduction in organisms. Am I right? Am I audible to all? Am I audible to everybody? Yes? Yes. So today we will be beginning with this super amazing topic, the super excitable topic, that is about the sexual reproduction, which would be the last topic of this particular chapter. This is a very simple chapter. Yes, without wasting any more time, we are moving on to this chapter. So what do you mean by asexual reproduction? Yes. Good afternoon, Srujana, Technical, Thamlian, Mila, Dekshit, everybody. Good morning. Sorry, good afternoon. Yes, confusion between the timing, right? Yes. Since the session, why because the session was scheduled to be in the morning, right? That's why instead of good afternoon, good morning, and all. Yes, listen in the class, everyone. Sexual reproduction. What do you mean by sexual reproduction? In the last class, we discussed so many things related with asexual reproduction, right? So, what do you mean by sexual reproduction? It is the reproduction that involves the formation of male and female gamete. Name the male gamete, guys. Name the male gamete. In case of human beings, it is sperm. And in case of human, the female gamete is egg or ovum. Egg or ovum. Right? This is the sperm. This is the ovum. This is in case of human being. Okay. And in case of plants, this pollen grain act as which contains the male gamete. Pollen grains contains the male gamete, and this ovary contains the female gamete or the ovule. Yes. So, the sexual reproduction results in the formation of offsprings that are not identical to the parents. Tell me on the chat box, what do we call the product of asexual reproduction? We studied in the yesterday's class that the product of asexual reproduction will be morphologically and genetically similar to that of the parent. Comment me in the chat box. What do we call the asexual reproductive? Yes, absolutely technical, Tamlian. It is clone. You will call it as the be the clones. Guys, is the green color visible or else I have to change the color? Is the green color visible to everybody? Is the green color or blue color visible? Which one is visible to everyone? Yes, fine. So, in case of sexual reproduction, each individuals are different from their parents, sometimes morphologically and genetically definitely they will be different from that of their parents. So what is the characteristics of sexual reproduction? It is an elaborate, complex, slow process as compared to the asexual reproduction. Okay, so asexual reproduction is so fast. It is not a very complex method, but sexual reproduction, it is an elaborate, complex, and a very slow process as compared to asexual reproduction. The period from growth to reach in maturity for sexual reproduction is called juvenile phase. Very important, very, very important. Okay, so the period from growth till the maturity of sexual reproduction, that is the period from birth, the period from birth till teenage or adolescence, puberty, we would say birth till puberty. Puberty is a region, or the puberty is the time period in which your reproductive organs become active. So the period from birth till puberty, that is a period from growth till sexual maturity, you will call it as a juvenile phase, and where you will call it as a juvenile phase in case of animals. And in case of plants, you will call that particular phase as vegetative phase. Clear, everybody? Is it clear for everyone up to the topics over here? Is it fine? Juvenile phase, vegetative phase, previous year MCQ. Previous year MCQ, this one. Is it clear for everyone? Yes, fine. So the period from growth till the sexual maturity, you will call it as a juvenile phase in case of animal, and a vegetative phase in case of plants. Yes. In higher plants, In higher plants, the flowering indicates the end of the vegetative phase. So this is a previous year JIPMA AIPMT AIMS question. So all these three examination you have found at least 25 times a repeated statement. At least 25 times repeated MCQ. Okay, Dikshit. So in higher plants, what marks the beginning of the reproductive phase? It is the flowering. In case of higher plants, it is a flowering, or at the end of vegetative phase is also indicated by the flowering of the plant. Annual and biennial plants. Annual means the lifespan is so much, right? They show clear cut vegetative. So, which all plants show clear vegetative, reproductive, and senescent phases? It is annual, biennial plant. Perennial plants will not show annual 1 year, biennial 2 years, right? So, annual and biennial plants show a clear cut vegetative, reproductive, and senescent phases. Okay, so look how beautiful is the image, right? How beautiful the image on the slide, how beautiful, right? So the marking of the vegetative phase, the end of the vegetative phase, or the marking of the beginning of the reproductive phase is done by the flowering of that particular organism. And the annual and the biennial plants show a clear-cut idea about the three different phases of reproduction. Fine. And in case of perennial plants, it is very difficult to understand these three phases separately. It's a very lengthy chapter. Okay, if we move a bit faster, we would have finished it. Yes. So this is an unusual condition from this particular slide. At least you will get 3 MCQ which are previous year. 3 previous year NEET MCQ you will get. 3 previous year NEET MCQ from this particular slide. So please take a screenshot of this slide. It's very important. For example, certain species of bamboo. I hope you might have not seen the flower of a bamboo. I hope you might have not seen the flower of a bamboo. Am I right? Because you know why? The bamboo species flowers only once in their lifetime, that is every 100 to 150 or 50 to 100 years only they produces a large number of flowers, and they eventually leads to the death of that particular plant. How many of your house has the flower of bamboo? I hope no one have seen the flower of a bamboo, and this is what is known as a flower. This is the flower of a bamboo. If your great grandfathers or your grandfathers have planted the bamboo, okay, planted the bamboo in his or her childhood, you might have seen, because this flowers in 150 to 100 years. Okay, and another strange thing about it is Strobilandus kundianum. Can anyone tell me what is Strobilandus kundianum, which flowers only 12 years, which only flowers once in 12 years? But now, due to the climatic variation, it last time it was in 2006, so the next was 2006 plus 12. Okay, but it what happened is that it just after 2018 it was to flower at 2032. Okay, 2032, but it flowered this year also in some parts of Tamil Nadu. Kerala Tamil Nadu border, this Strobilandus kundiana was flowered this time also. Do you know what is it? Strobilandus kundianum is also known as Neela Kuranyi. It's there in the NCRT, Neela Kuranyi. Okay? Yes, Kuranyi, that is the correct one. Yes, this is the beautiful flowers of Strobilandus kundianum or Neela Kuranyi, which flowers once in 12 years. So you have to study that bamboo flowers only 50 to 100 years. Once in 50 to 100 years. Strobilandus kundianum flowers once in 12 years. And what do you mean by juvenile phase? Juvenile phase means it is a period from growth till the sexual maturity. Exactly as in case of animals, it is from the birth till puberty. Puberty is a period during which you can have your sexual maturity, right? So from birth till this particular thing, that is sexual maturity, you will call it as to be the juvenile phase. So in case of animals, the juvenile phase is followed by certain morphological and physiological changes. Right? In case of males, will be having the deepening of the voice, enlargement of the body size, right? Increase in the height. All these things are the most, their shoulders will rise up. All these things are the characteristic feature of, all these things are the changes associated with in case of males. And what all are the different changes in case of females? The breast enlargement, the sexual reproduction organs are active during the time of juvenile period. Most important change is that menstruation will occur in case of female. Okay. So in case of animals, juvenile phase is followed by morphological and physiological changes prior to active reproductive behavior. Guys, it's not only in case of human beings where you can see the menstrual cycle. In case of all animals that have an opposable thumb, you will be having what? Opposable thumb, you will be having the menstrual cycle. So birds living in nature lay eggs seasonally. So certain organisms reproduce by laying egg. However, birds in captivity, that is poultry, can be made to lay eggs throughout the year. Okay, some of the organisms are reproductively active during a particular season only. For example, you might have heard about the breeding season for dog, the breeding season for certain birds, certain climatic condition, or there are certain conditions which favors the reproduction of these particular species of animals. Okay, so let's discuss in detail about each thing. The females of placental mammal. What do you mean by placental mammal? Which have a placenta that exhibits cyclical changes in the ovary. Or what happens in the ovary? Ovary will produce the ovum or the egg. Then the accessory duct and the hormones during the reproductive phase. This cyclical changes is called estrous cycle. This cyclical changes is called estrous cycle. What is estrous cycle? The females of the placental mammals exhibit cyclical changes in the ovary, accessory duct, and hormone during the reproductive phase. In case of non-primate mammals, what a non-primate mammal? They do not have an opposable thumb. Guys, take up your any one of your hand, right or left hand, and check whether you have an opposable thumb or not. Just check whether you can touch all your fingers with the thumb. You can touch all your fingers. So that is what is said to be the primate. So in case of primate mammals, that is monkey, ape, humans, you will have the menstrual cycle. And in case of those, have you seen a cow just opposing the thumb with the other fingers? Have you seen a tiger just opposing their thumb with the other fingers? No, never. So they are called the non-primate mammal, where you would be having the estrous cycle. Okay, this is the difference between menstrual cycle and estrous cycle. So guys, I'll be coming out with, most probably tomorrow, you will be having the first written paper and pen mode examination on the chapter units and dimension from physics. Fine. Units and dimension from physics, only 30 questions. So 2021 students, please get prepared for that by tomorrow. After today night, please start preparing. After the class, please start preparing for the chapter units and measurement. So tomorrow we have to write a small MCQ test on that chapter. Fine. How many of you have OMR for 30? How many of you have OMRs in your hand? OMR, yes, physics. Units and measurement, we have to begin everything, right? This time also physics makes most of you difficult. Otherwise, the exam would have the most easiest of the previous 32 years paper, the most easiest paper, NEET 2020 paper. Physics made it everything just turn back, right? So we have to, it's there in our hands, so we have to conquer it. It's our life, so we have to conquer it, and we are there with you. Perfect, perfect. How many of you have? I want everybody to take the printout of an OMR, and if anybody needs, I'll just share it, the PDF of the OMR in the group by today evening, so that if anybody hasn't have it, then take the screenshot. Okay, just take what 20-25 copies and keep it with you, because it will be most difficult. In order to make the class entertaining, we'll be doing the Menti quiz. Okay, the same question may sometimes comes under the OMR examination also, and I want each one of you to give it. Yes, definitely I'll share in the group today evening. Yes, so I request everybody to take the printout. I need everyone to write. You can send me the answer, I'll correct it, and I will. Okay, so that is all about the estrous cycle and the menstrual cycle. Already we discussed that certain animals, based on the breeding season, mammals are of two types. Already I told you that certain mammals such as dogs and all, they will be seasonal breeders, because they are living in a particular natural condition of the environment, so their reproductive cycle will be active only during a particular season, only during a favorable season. So dogs, cow, goat, all these are examples. Cat and all are examples of seasonal breeders. For example, they only reproduce in a particular period of their lifetime. Okay, a particular time in the year, like this. But in case of human beings, continuous breeders, the human beings, monkeys, apes, and all, you will call it as the continuous breeders. So the continuous breeders are reproductively active throughout their reproductive phase. That is, in case of females, right from menarche to menopause, they are capable of reproduction. Okay, but in case of seasonal breeders, ovary will produce ovum only during the seasonal times, only during the seasons in which they are capable of reproduction. Yes, what do you mean by senescence? Senescence means old age. In case of plants, you will tell, right? Senescent plants. This is a growth. The small plant is growing and it is going to flower. The end of the growth phase is marked out by flowering. The end of the growth phase is marked out by the flowering, sexual maturity. Then finally leading to old age, and finally it will lead to the death of the species. Okay, so it is the last phase of the lifespan. It is the last phase of the, or the phase of the lifespan of human, at the end of the reproductive phase. During this, certain changes occur in the body. For example, slowing of the metabolism, decrease in the energy, weakening of the muscles, weakening of the body parts. So all these are symptoms which will ultimately lead to the death of that organism. Fine, everybody, till the three periods of sexual reproduction. Tell me on the chat box which all were the three main stages or phases of reproduction. Let me check who is going to tell me fast on the chat box. First one was First one was what? Yes, tell me. First one was no one. That means no one has understood what we discussed in the class. One by one, tell me. Oh. Should I start the chapter again from the beginning? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, technical, Thamlian and Sujana. It is the juvenile phase. The juvenile phase will be followed by the reproductive phase, and the reproductive phase will be followed by the what? Reproductive phase will be followed by the senescence phase. So these are the three different stages. Yes, Sonali. Yes, Nila. Very good. So these are the different stages of sexual reproduction. So in case of plants and animals, the hormone causes the what causes a transition between the three states. Hormone causes a transition between the juvenile, reproductive, and the senescent phases. Senescence means old age. Interaction between the hormones and the environmental factors regulate the reproductive processes and the associated expression of organism. Guys, can anyone tell me what do we call the type of glands that produces hormone? Is it exocrine or endocrine or heterocrine or mixocrine? The type of gland that produces hormone. The type of glands that produces hormone. Anybody? You will call it as exocrine or endocrine, heterocrine, mixocrine. Yes, absolutely, Dikshit. Very good. It is endocrine gland. Endocrine means ductless gland. Absolutely, Srijana. It is endocrine gland. So moving on with the next. Next, we are going to start with yet another brand new topic, that is sexual reproduction. Yes, starting with yet another topic, that is a sexual reproduction. Once again, let me check how much more is there for us to finish. Yes, I think we need one more class to complete the chapter. So these are the main events of sexual reproduction. Main events of sexual reproduction, that is pre-fertilization. What do you mean by pre? Pre means before. So what are the events happening before fertilization? What are the events happening during fertilization? What are the what are the events happening during after fertilization, that you will call it as the post fertilization event? Yes, absolutely. So in the very first thing that we are going to discuss about the pre-fertilization event, or the events that will be happening before the process of fertilization. Tell me, guys, on the chat box, what do you mean by fertilization? What do you mean by fertilization? Define the term fertilization. Anyone? Tell me, I'll read it, okay? First, on the chat box itself, tell me what do you mean by fertilization. So, the pre fertilization events occurs like gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Yes, absolutely. It is a fusion of gamete. It is a fusion of gamete is called what gamete fertilization. So the events happening before fertilization, there should be the formation of gametes, right? Male gametes will be formed in case of males only, female gamete in case of females only. So that happens over there. The formation of gamete, you will call it as a gametogenesis. Then these two gametes, the male gamete, sorry, the male gametes have to be transferred into the female gamete for fertilization, right? So the male gamete sperms must be transferred to the female reproductive tract for the fusion. So that process you will call it as the gamete transfer. Yes, we are going to discuss in detail about each things. First we'll discuss First, we are going to discuss about the pre-fertilization event. The events that occur prior to the fusion of gametes, the events that occur prior to the fertilization. Actually, we use both the spellings for fertilization, okay? Yes, the events happening prior to the fusion of gamete, you will call it as the pre-fertilization event. They include gametogenesis and gamete transfer. They include the process of gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Guys, in case of certain organisms, the gamete will be different. The gamete will be morphologically, they will be different. That is heterogamete. Heterogamete. Look, this is the male gamete. This is the male gamete. This is the female gamete. In case of certain algae, fungi, and all, you will see isogamete. That is the male gamete and the female gamete are identical to each other. Yes. First process we are going to. This is a diagram from your NCRT. This is a diagram from your NCRT. So the gametogenesis means the formation of male and female gamete. The formation of male and female gamete, you will call it as the gametogenesis. Gametes or the haploid cells. Gametes are always haploid cell. Guys, how many chromosomes in case of human beings will be there in case of gamete? What is a haploid number of chromosome in case of human gamete? Tell me. Human gamete, what will be the number of haploid chromosome? So already we discussed if the gametes, both male and female gametes are similar, you will call it as a homogametes or the isogamete. And in case of other organisms such as an algae, human beings, etc., you will see the absolutely it is 23. So the haploid number of chromosome in case of human gamete is 23. That is, you will denote it by 2n condition is equal to 46. Therefore, n condition will be equal to 46 divided by 2, which is 23. Guys, Nila, it is not 23 pairs. 23 pairs is the whole number of chromosome. Whole number of chromosome present in a normal cell. Okay, Nila, clear with the topic? That is a whole chromosome. Suppose a chromosome present in our skin will be 23. In the somatic, the normal body cell, it will be 23 pairs. 23 pairs equals 46, right? In case of human gamete, you will see 46 divided by 2 or 23 pairs divided by 2, you will get only simply 23. Nila, is the topic clear? Yes, no issue, no issue, no issue. Okay. So, in case of human beings and certain fungi, you will have the male and the female gamete different from each other. So, you will call it as the heterogamete. You will call it as the heterogamete. Guys, this type of a question you have to expect. Okay, they will be giving you a question like this. The number of chromosome in the leaf cell of a maize plant is, suppose, for example, in a maize plant is 24. What will be the number of chromosome in the male gamete? Tell me. Tell me the answer for this question. The leaf cell. The leaf cell of a maize plant consists of 24 chromosome. Tell me the number of gamete present, number of chromosome present in the male gamete. Absolutely, it is 12. Nila, is it clear? Srujana, is it clear? Dikshit, is it clear? Yes. What about Nila? Is it clear? Yes. Nila, is it clear so that I could move forward? Yes, I just explained it with the help of example only. This kind of a question you can expect for your NEET 2021. Fine. In our Menti quiz also you will have certain questions like this in the upcoming Menti quiz. Only if we finish the your 30 questions, the 30 most important question bank series for this particular chapter is ready. Okay, in the form of a Menti quiz. So after we finish the chapter only, it's not clear. Okay, I'll explain. Okay, I'll explain. Guys, please listen. The number of chromosomes, what you will call this condition 2n. 2n you will call it as a diploid condition. 2n means it is a diploid condition. The diploid condition will happen only in case of somatic cell. What do you mean by somatic cells? Somatic means the normal body cells. The normal body cells, you can say it is to be the diploid condition. For example, the total number of chromosome present in the normal cells of a human being is 46, just exactly as how Nila told me. That is 23 pairs. 23 pairs or 46 chromosome, right? Then in case of gamete, that is during, in case of sex cells, you will have the sex cells. In case of sex cells, what you can see is that this will be diploid, will be changing into a haploid condition, because we studied, right, in case of human reproduction, the gametes are always formed by the process, by cell division process known as meiosis. Meiosis happens in case of what? Sex cells, that is a gamete, right? So in case of human beings, the diploid condition is 2n. When they're asking you about the number of chromosome in the gamete, or what the haploid number of chromosome, just what you have to do is the number of chromosome divided by 2, you will get the answer as to be simply 23. Clear? Clear? If you have any doubt more, you can ask me now itself. I will be explaining you once again. Okay, you're free to ask your doubt, express your doubt. Just tell me, Nila, whether you have understood. I hope all others understood it, because I've seen them answering. Nila, how is it clear, everyone? Yes, Sonali, you are clear with it. What about Srujana, Technical, Tambli, and Dikshit, Sameksha, all these people? Is it clear? Is it clear with the other people also? If you're not clear, please ask me frankly, then only I'll be explaining, because this question will definitely, one question will definitely be there for your NEET 2021. Yes. What do you mean by homogamete? Yes. Guys, it's reached 2:55. So can we move with the Menti, or Menti should I conduct it in the next class? Which one you need? Should we go with the Menti, or should we go with the Menti? Yes? Or we should conduct the Menti in the next class? Which one you need? Yes. So all your eyes on the screen, don't leave the session. Yes. Don't leave the session. You will have the Menti code right now on the screen. Yes. Yes, guys, this is the Menti code for the day. Nila, just try whether you can enter or not into the Menti. Go to www.menti.com and use the code 98023999. This is today's Menti code. The Menti code will be there in the group right now, our Telegram group. Okay. Just join for the Menti, everyone. Activating. Yes, now all of you can join into the quiz. Just enter your name and join into the quiz. Yes, after 2 minutes, we will begin the session. Okay. Guys, you all haven't seen out. Yes, guys. Oh, it was a small issue over here. That's why you couldn't hear me. Okay. Anyway, the session is over. You can. Next day, I'll try to include more question. Okay, bye bye. Take care. It's heavily raining over here.